Right, hello everyone, this is Product Shard, and today I'm going to be going over the MTAR in Black Ops 2. I've got it to maximum weapon level at Weapon Prestige 2, which is the highest, as you can see from that title that I got. And first of all, I'm just going to go over the classes that I use for it, because you can see as I've got the weapon emblem, I've hit Prestige 2, just to prove that I have actually used it. And I'm going to go over the classes that I'd use, and the first one, the one that I use the most, because you get the attachments fairly early, is to put on Quick Draw Grip and the stock. This allows you to move around like really quickly while aiming down sight, because aiming down sight does take quite a while on the assault rifles. And the Quick Draw Grip obviously allows you when you're close range and when you see the enemy to get it up quicker. But instead of having to do that over and over again, you've got the stock, which allows you to stay aimed down sight while moving. The suppressor you can put on later when you unlock it, but the stock and the quick draw grip are the most important on this. It kind of lets you use the MTAR as basically a submachine gun, and the suppressor just gives you that stealth factor. So this is a very versatile class. You can use it on most maps because the MTAR is quite accurate overall, and the stock and quick draw grip give you kind of the feel of a submachine gun and the speed of a submachine gun as well. You don't lose the movement speed, and you can also aim down sight quicker. So this is a very powerful class with it. And then the perks, perk 1 doesn't really matter, I normally run hardline. Toughness is a very useful one for this, because you will be in quite long range situations sometimes, and getting hit and having the recoil go above their head can really throw you off when you see like 2 or 3 people in front of you. If you miss that first one, then you can die and get none of them, whereas toughness just brings it and keeps it down, allowing you to get the kills that you need. And dexterity is one of the most important on this class, because you will be running in. This is much more of a rushing objective class. To be able to get that the MTAR up and start hip firing quickly is very important. Then you can have either a secondary and a lethal, or a secondary and a tactical, or 2 tacticals, or whatever you want. And obviously if you don't unlock the suppressor yet, you can either put a sight on it or something like that, or just not have the primary gunfighter at all. But that's up to you. The secondary, I like to just have a machine pistol on there, just so when it runs out of ammo, when you've killed like 2 or 3 people in a mag, instead of having to reload, you can just whip out the Cap 40, or you can have the B23R, and that can be pretty useful as well. Now the next class, which I kind of found very near to the end, it was on Prestige 2 as I was unlocking the last few attachments. I decided to put on the hybrid optic, which allows you like a red dot and ACOG in one scope. Or it might be a 3x zoom rather than the 4x zoom. But just having this and a suppressor actually makes it a really good class, because you can switch between like the red dot sight for close quarter stuff, and the ACOG or the 3x zoom for more longer range stuff. It's not so much of a rushing class as the last one, but just a pure kind of assault rifle class where you stay back for getting up kill streaks, but also for once you are in an objective you can defend it pretty well, because using the suppressor you're not on the map and stuff. And the trophy systems, which you'll see down the bottom, are actually like really important to this class, because if you are defending an objective, which is what I was doing on this, I was on like Chaos, on hardpoint, stuff like that, having the trophy systems, they may seem a bit pointless, but you just throw them down and they will destroy all the like stuns and shock charges thrown at you, and you'll be able to defend that objective way easier. And also from each trophy system, when they destroy 2 things, you can get plus 50 towards your point streak, so that's an extra 100 if you defend an objective, and it destroys all the things coming at you, so that can get you up to your, whatever it's called, a Hellstorm missile or something, and get you on a kill streak. Then it also gives you the ability to have like a secondary, because you don't really need the primary gunfighter wildcard. You can have those 2 tacticals. Obviously if you're not playing like an objective game type, you're just on TDM, then you can just use flash grenades or something. A lethal and the same perks I'm using on this. The dexterity isn't quite as important on this class. You can change it to engineer or something, because the aiming down sight, well, like running and then bringing up the hip fire, isn't quite as important on this class, as you won't be like rushing so much, and you'll be trying to aim down sight. Now the final class here is pretty self-explanatory. It's the target finder. This is for basically getting up levels once you have the attachments. You got the target finder and the quick draw. The target finder means you can get long range kills easily, because it obviously just paints the target on your screen. And the quick draw grip is for bringing the sight up really quick when you're in the close quarters situations. So this is a great all-round class. You can use whatever perks really. And again, I have the trophy systems and something else and a secondary, just to make it a bit easier on myself. And this is just probably the best class for leveling up. Well, I don't actually have the secondary on at the moment. I've got Tactician, because I got a black hat because I was using it on search, but normally I don't have that. You just put a lethal on and you got a secondary as well. But this is a great class, a really easy class to use because of the target finder, and you should be able to get it up like to the top level pretty easily with this class, and then you can start improvising and putting on the other sorts of sights and stuff. But until you get used to the gun, this is kind of the class to aim for. Now, to go over some other things about the TAR, it's generally a pretty good gun. It's all round very good. It's pretty accurate, but not like amazing, not like an M8A1, which has basically no recoil. It's got recoil, but at close range and medium range it's very easy to handle, and if you put the grip on it becomes a little bit better, but not significantly, so I wouldn't recommend it. But it is easy to control, especially if you burst fire it cross map. You can still do pretty well. But attachments to kind of avoid on this gun are definitely going to be select fire. You do not, there's just like literally no point putting it on this gun. I tried it, and when doing burst fire, the recoil is basically the same, if not more, for some reason. And obviously you shoot slower, it's harder to aim while hitting the trigger over and over again to like fire slower overall as well. So yeah, select fire isn't like something you want to use. The ACOG sight is a bit pointless, especially like when you unlock it. You'll also have the reflex sight, which is much better in my opinion. The ACOG, it can be useful, but with this gun you're gonna, well, I say you're gonna, the way I play with it, I get into a lot more close range stuff, and when you're using the ACOG, the sensitivity, like when you're aiming down sight, is turned down a lot because you're zoomed in further, so it's a lot harder to change between targets, especially if they're like behind you and stuff like that. So the ACOG is one to avoid, because especially when you get the hammer sight, the hammer sight's just generally better because it has the red dot and the ACOG on it. So I'd wait for that if you want ACOG scope on it, unless you're literally going to be sitting at the back of the map. But the ACOG also amplifies the recoil, like how you see it, so it's also a lot harder to aim on people as well. The laser sight is kind of pointless. The hip fire on this gun's pretty good anyway, but you shouldn't really be hip firing, to be perfectly honest. And fast mag is nice, but it's not really needed on this gun. The recoil, well no, the reload speed, it's not amazing, but it's never really going to get you killed, especially because of the kind of slow fire rate. You're not going to run out of ammo after killing 1 or 2 people. You should have enough to last you like at least 3 people as long as you're accurate, and then you can find a time to reload properly. Then, kind of the things to use, the silencer doesn't seem very detrimental at all. You can put it on and still kill people in the same number of bullets, and even if it's not the same number of bullets, it doesn't really matter because they don't know you're there, so you've got a lot longer to actually kill them. The quick draw and stop combo is very good, and the kind of reflex sight and hybrid scopes are definitely the scopes to use if you're going to use any. I really do wish there was like dual band on it, but never mind. The gun is short to medium range, and it has a high damage output. Like, I don't actually know if it does, but it seems like it does. And it will beat quite a lot of things, like long range, as long as you are accurate. But you've kind of, when you're in close quarters, it still won't beat basically any SMGs. Cool triple. It may beat, like, the Chicom if the person using the Chicom's a bit stupid, and if it's not pronounced Chicom, I don't really care. It may beat that, but any of the other kind of decent ones, you're going to lose close range. So you do have to keep to like a medium range if you're going to try and hip fire. But with that quick draw stock combo, it's still pretty good close range, and you can get the sensitivity high enough to change between targets rapidly, I guess. And for kill streaks, this gun is pretty good. It is pretty reliable most of the time. You can see I just got an AGR there from using it. Most situations you will be able to find a way to kill them because it is pretty accurate, and as long as you're not fighting a sniper and trying to like just hold down the trigger to kill them, you can put yourself in situations where you will win a lot of the time. So overall, it's a pretty nice gun, not the best, but because you unlock it straight away, it's definitely one to use as you're leveling up, and because it's definitely going to be more reliable than maybe one of the 3 burst ones if you're not good with 3 burst weapons. But you can definitely pick this gun up and be sure that you are going to get the kills you should do, and you're not just going to be annoyed that it's not killing them half the time. So good gun, you can use it if you want, and yeah, you'll probably enjoy it. There's a lot of different ways to play with it, so tailor it to your needs and have fun.
Who do you think you are? Running around leaving scars, bringing your giant heart. Oh, who do you think you are? For your giant heart, for your giant